Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to myself for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing a um, First Descendant T-shirt. Um, I had nothing to react to, so I have a recommended video playing in the background in slow motion. Anyway, well, it's better than having Billie Eilish, Billie Dog Eilish, to look at. That's why. Anyway, so I woke up and I thought it was like three in the afternoon because my neighbors were making so much noise. I'm like, oh, it must be the afternoon, like they must be having a barbecue or whatever. And then I turn around and I look outside and it's night. I'm like, oh, it's like 10 p.m. Um, what I've noticed is the more I don't know what the proper word is. The more you know how like there's first world, second world, third world. So it seems like the closer the society is to caveman savage, the more they gather in groups and hang out by the fire and get drunk and whatever. So like I've seen like YouTube videos of a bunch of rich Arabs hanging out. So like they're rich, they're like they got that oil money, but like they're still hanging out in a big group with like AK-47s shooting them up in the sky because deep down they're just savages who happen to live in the right part of the world where they can like pump out oil. So like it's basically like you're given a savage a lottery ticket, but you don't take the animal out of them. They're still gonna do what they do. So we have neighbors now. They are American, but they're like second generation, I think, and they're from some country near Arab land. I don't know which. I don't know which country, but that if you took a circle, like you took a map and you drew a big circle, like a really big circle, because I don't know which part. They could be North African. They could be. I mean, I don't know because I don't look at them. I don't talk to them. I don't interact with them. But I'm pretty sure camels live in their country. But there's always, and I exaggerate when I say always, but there's always a party going on over there. And, you know, drinking, yelling, and screaming, bad music, and a language I don't understand. But I understand how, culturally it'd be a regular Tuesday where they're from, but you know, we don't have camels over here. Usually, Americans they have parties like I don't know, like there's people around here who party, but it's like it'll be like once every 2 months, something like that. It'll be Friday, Saturday. It's um, hell, I don't even know what day it is. Oh, it's Friday, but I don't know. It's it's you know what? It's the nomad life. Cause like back when nomadic tribes were a thing. You'd all gather by the fire at night, and drink and yell and scream and hump your camel. And so they still have that in them, they bring, except they're not nomads, but they bring their tribesmen to their house and they drink, and they don't have a camel. It's America, so they have a dog. But it's annoying. It's very annoying. I don't know. Like I wish. And here's the thing. It's like I don't wish this. I avoid being in charge. I'm a what you call a natural leader. I'm a very good leader. I'm good at a lot of things. But the problem when you're a leader, you have this thing called responsibility. Okay? I can't stand responsibility. I'm shocked I haven't been just distracted by this hot Japanese chick working up. Anyway, um, and just responsibility, being a leader. It basically means you're thinking for everyone else, and you take responsibility when things go wrong. And if you're a good leader, when things go right, you don't take responsibility. I mean, you don't take credit. You spread it around so everyone feels like they accomplished something. And there have been several times in my life where I could have been in charge or of something, or had just more responsibility, and I've turned it down on purpose. But that's neither here nor there. If I was in charge, um, we would have zero immigration. Getting into America would be impossible. Okay? And the only way you would be able to get in, like there would be no such thing as asylum. There'd be no humanitarian aid. We, like there'd be no such thing as asylum cities, whatever. And even if you were born here, you would not be considered a citizen until you reach a certain age. And just to see if you have just to see if you would be a productive member of society, actually. But if I was in charge, you wouldn't have any immigrants, and we would have East Berlin. I'm talking the Berlin Wall, machine gun towers on definitely on the southern border. Okay, and then like the thing, and then like the thing of Canada, like Canadians don't leave Canada to, like, some do, but we don't have an epidemic of Canadians leaving Canada to, like, live in America and then send money back to Canada. But I would have a crazy border up north too, because other countries, because now Mexico goes up north to Canada to get through to come to America, which is a problem. But anyway, my whole point is, if I was in charge, an American would not have to live to a savage and have to hear parties every 3 days. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Because it's just, and it is not the people. It's the culture. Cultures clash. Okay, and it's like both people expect the other one to accept their culture. That's why it's called culture clash. It just doesn't work. The only way it can work is one country has to take over the other country, and that country's children has to be raised in the new culture, and that's what past uh, kingdoms would do is if they took over a place, they would take all the children and raise them in their country, like put them in their schools, so they got used to living in that country for like whatever 10 years, and then they would return them to the parents that live in the conquered country, but now they have children that are so used to living in the new environment that things change really fast. But it's not ancient times, so that I don't think that's ever going to happen. I wish it would, or I just wish people would stop coming over here. I mean, like the way things are going, America's going to end up being a place like the land of opportunity. Like that moniker is going to be dropped. The way things are going now, we have Trump. Things are going great right now, but the thing is, the average the average American citizen is stupid, and I can picture them um just not voting for the right people. Um, like I would vote, like let's say the next election, I would vote for the candidate who who does the best Trump impression, and I don't mean like his voice, I mean his policies. Like I if there's a candidate that was running on the exact same policies as Trump ran on previously, I'd vote for that person because things are going good. So, but we'll see. I came on here to bitch about my neighbors, and somehow it turned into this conversation. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I had a job interview because I need a job that the government can't take away. Because I had the last two real jobs I had were really nice, and I thought I was going to have them for the rest of my life. But the place I worked at closed down. Nothing I can do. And then the next place, COVID made the place close down. So the economy took away the first job, and then the government took away the the second job. So I have to look for a job that if there's I'm sorry, when there's another lockdown, I can still work, and there is going to be another lockdown. There is I'm sure it's been covered, right? Probably not, but there's a whistleblower who's like this is back when COVID first started. There was a Chinese woman who said she worked in the Wuhan lab, and she said that there was two more viruses, one that had a 25% mortality rate, and another one that had a 50% mortality rate. And you're like, well, how do you know she was real? Well, because she said that the current virus that's been released has a 99% survival rate. So, I mean, like, so like she was right on that, and this is before all the hysteria, but she disappeared. So like I believe her because she said it was from a Wuhan lab, and this is when it first started, when everyone was trying to blame bats. That's why I never believed it. But see, when you said, I'm talking, this is way back, but when I repeated what she said, those videos got taken down because obviously the media is compromised. But that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, because we're gonna have more lockdowns, because rich people want small businesses to close because who gets to buy those places up? Big corporations. I mean, when I go in Culver City, I still see all the new places because so many places closed down and they got bought up by other places, and like the comic book shop, was forced to close down, and it became, I forgot what it became, but it became part of some restaurant chain. Like it turned into some restaurant that's a chain. So like a big corporation bought it. But so don't be surprised when that happens again. And then you have all these people who want the population to like Bill Gates wants the population to drop, even though it's already dropping because birth rates are like low everywhere. So you don't really need to do anything else to make a drop. I mean, feminism is doing a bang up job, making sure people aren't having kids. So you don't need to add to it. But anyway, so I go to a job interview, and it's just a simple job. It's just I have experience working at a grocery store, so I'm like, I'll apply to a grocery store. The government can't take away, as far as I know, a grocery store job because people still need food. And I want a job that requires zero of my brain power. I repeat, zero. Every job I've ever had, I can I can work and be a zombie and just be on automatic mode. And as I'm working, I can think about anything I want, just do anything I want, like practice song lyrics, think about my rotation in a video game, whatever, but I can do what I want and get paid doing nothing. So like we have a really high IQ, and you have these base jobs. It's so easy. It's really easy. Now I have the ability to work, a job with a lot more responsibility, but I don't want to think, or I'm sorry, I want to think on stuff I want to do or what's important to me. So I'd rather just be a little cog in a machine than the machine itself. But the woman that interviewed me, and I don't know why she did this because I don't give a fuck. She listed like the 6 different people who were in charge of the store, and they were all Mexican. And actually, she named, it was more like 10 people. Anyway, she listed all these people, right? They were all Mexican. And then, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going to get this job. They're going to hire a Mexican. And like she was Mexican. So it was like literally everyone in power at the store was Mexican. And then I did, like the few employees I did see, one was a black girl and everyone else was Mexican. Now, this is a store, it's a store, like all the customers, most of the customers in the store, I want to say like 80% were white. So it's a white area, but pretty much every worker was Mexican. So I was just like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna get this job. So I'm trying to see, can I pass for maybe Dominican or Brazilian, because that's like a Spanish, um, you know, last name, or I mean not last name, background, right? So I think I'm gonna do that DEI race bullshit and say I'm Brazilian, because I've been mistaken for Brazilian a couple times, and so I'm gonna see if that'll help me get a job. I like one of these places. And like I can say I was born in America and all that crap, so I don't have to it's not like they're gonna really I don't know what the proper word is. Oh no, like do like a family tree check. They're not gonna check my DNA. What channel is this? This girl is, I guess, it's just a Japanese girl being cute in the guise of working out. But anyway, so I've been doing nothing, and I'm enjoying it. I saw this podcast where I forgot the name of the podcast, but he was talking about the advances in science, and apparently we have the ability to have free energy. Like we have the ability that we don't need the gas company, the electric company, all these things, because we actually do have the technology, but because that would take away, a lot of people's money, we purposely suppress science and make the people go out and work to pay for the basics, like your water bill. And this guy was talking about technology. I no need for me to explain this. Do your own research. And but he was just like, we actually do have that technology, and like he was explaining it, of course. And there's been several people who have done scientific breakthroughs that would provide free energy, and all of them disappeared. So I'm just saying, it's like we purposely make society in a way that the average Joe has to go out and work. See, but here's the thing: like, this is why I'm surprised that they're letting AI, and here's the thing about AI. AI has been around forever. If you've ever played a video game, if you've ever played a one-player video game, and you're playing against the bad guys in the video game, that's AI. So I'm just saying, like, we've had AI forever. It just, for some reason, the media currently is making every news story about AI. And so I think, this is what I think. I think the reason why they're making AI such a thing in pop culture, you have movies making, you have AI. So you have movies about AI, a lot of movies about, robots and all this shit. There's probably, we probably have something already. Like we probably already have like AI human robots walking around, and they're slowly trying to make it a pop culture thing. But here's the thing, like, I can't wait for AI to just take over. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, robots and AI can do most human jobs. And this is why I'm surprised that they're allowing it. But the thing is, it's going to take away so many jobs. You're going to have to implement universal basic income. And I think that's the goal, is for AI, and this is, I'm just spitballing here, but I think they want AI to take over first, because everything will still get done. So, if infrastructure, whatever, just all the human jobs. Okay, so now AI is doing it. So now companies are sick, because like a company's biggest expense is payroll. Okay, so now companies are making bank, but now society, the civilians, the pay pigs, they don't have any money to buy these products. So now you implement universal basic income, because you need something to keep the economy going. So now AI is doing all the work. And so now these companies pay a certain amount of tax, okay? And then that's a certain amount of tax goes into a big slush fund that shoots back out as universal basic income, and it keeps the economy going. And then because of that, then you go with the free energy stuff, because the market is still flowing though. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my big brained, 30,000 foot overlook of what's going to happen. So we're going to have AI take over, universal basic income kicks in, and then we move on to free energy. Because like that guy who made water powered cars, there's this guy, he designed an engine that can run on water. He disappeared. So we have the technology, but and also I don't understand why we don't build a desalination plant by the ocean and just have free water. I mean, there's so many things I don't understand about society, which is why I just don't care. Like, society is a goddamn joke. Goddamn joke. But yeah, so I applied for another job, just a job that the government can't take away, which is right now grocery store. So I applied to another one. They said they would reply within 3 weeks, so I think there's another week, and I'll see. And I'll just, I mean, one of them's got to hire me. I mean, every time I go into a grocery store, there's new people that work there, which is crazy that there's new people. I'm talking well, I'll only go to three on a regular basis, but those three stores I go to on a regular basis, there's someone new working there every time, so I'm mainly applying to those. So hopefully I can get a job that requires no brain power, and I can move on with my life. And like the Sydney Sweeney thing. You've seen the Sydney Sweeney commercial that's causing all this problem. Asian girls. They should have picked an Asian girl, because just like an average, not average, but I'm gonna take that back. A good-looking Asian woman is better than a good-looking white woman. I mean, like, average is average all over the place, but actually no, like, average. Well, I'll take it back. Average-looking American Asian women are nasty because they have the mindset that they're cute Asian women because they're Asian. Like, it's like the easiest way to tell if a woman is average is if she's Asian. I mean, like, an American Asian, because the reason why they live in America is because they're considered ugly in their country. I don't know if you noticed that. Like, if you've ever seen a Korean, like an American Korean woman, I don't know if you just, like, notice, like, like, pay attention. She's usually ugly, but in America she's considered cute because, like, she's Asian. So, like, someone with, like, Asian, like, yellow fever would totally like her just because she's Asian. But if she was in Korea, she'd be, like, nasty. I've noticed that. Oh, we actually got to the whole video. Yeah, it's just a cute chick working out. Can't go wrong with that. But anyway, that's what I've noticed though. Like, because like, the Korean beauty standards, you need, like, fair skin, be at least 5'4", all these things, whatever. And so when you see a Korean American girl, she's usually, like, really tan. I've noticed that, like lots of tan South Koreans live in America, because over in Korea they're considered ugly, which, I don't make up the beauty standards, but I want. Oh, and another reason why I was making this video, there's a clip on X I want to show you, but for some reason X isn't working. So I'm in this video now, and when maybe it's on my end, but when X starts working again, I gotta show you the video because it's a video of a guy who took, okay, he has an OnlyFans subscription, and he is this one OnlyFans whore's best customer. And so because he's her best customer, he took her on a virtual date. So he went out to a restaurant and brought a big, like, screen, so like she can, so they can they can see each other. And so they're having dinner or lunch or whatever, and so they're virtual eating, and she's changing outfits. It's very cringe, okay? But this is what we've come to in society, where people are spending millions of dollars on OnlyFans girls and then paying probably extra money to take them on a virtual date with them. I mean, what is going on? But like, this is part of the reason why the population is just declining. Like, you had people, men and women, who are in AI relationships. There's people who, it's like who's ever in charge is doing everything possible to make sure the population collapses. I don't know who's in charge, who's really in charge, but they're doing a bang up job of getting rid of people. I mean, like, look at over in Russia. Supposedly, I don't know how we know this number, but 1 million Russian soldiers have lost their lives or missing. But like, that's a lot of young men, dead. And I don't know the official Ukraine numbers because Ukraine has lots of drones, which is why, they have better technology. Like in Russia, when they sing you out for this war, you get 2 weeks of training. So that's why the soldiers don't last long, because they don't know what they're doing. Like, if you gave me 2 weeks of training and like, hey, go do this, I'd probably fail. I probably wouldn't last long. Now, if you gave me like in America, I think they train you for 6 months before they send you out to war. Well, I mean, that's better than 2 weeks, though. It might be 9 months. But anyway, I've said enough. I'll talk to you later, and I'll come back with that video next. Don't worry. You guys have a good one. Peace.